Hello, Robert. So good to see you.
Thank you, Steve.
So let's just jump right into things. Would you please introduce yourself and your organization?
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Robert McNamara, and I live in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm affiliated with a worldwide franchise system called Jani-King. Now, Jani-King started back in 1969. We have over 9,000 worldwide franchisees, 1,000 here in Canada. Of course, our business is commercial cleaning, but as I mentioned, what's unique about us is that we do it through a franchise model. So what I'm called is a master franchise, and my role is to find and recruit franchisees and then train them and then give them ongoing support.
And is it fair to say that a lot of them are small and medium-sized businesses?
Many of them are considered micro businesses, I call it. Our niche is in the smaller market. What I mean smaller, maybe 200,000 square feet or less in a building, but even smaller for many, many are owner operated.
So I'm sure it'll give you some good insights and will help, a lot of people who are doing the same kind of thing. So let me ask you, why does your organization and you personally care about sustainability?
That's a good question. I go back to my very first year, 17 years ago with Jani-King. Back then, I can honestly say that, the motivation was more around business development, using green cleaning as a value proposition. We used it to differentiate ourselves as green cleaners and really maybe charge a little premium for the green cleaning. And we were somewhat successful at that. Um, I find green cleaning now, has expanded quite a bit, but it's widely accepted now. Like we're doing green cleaning in all our scope of work. So it's very exciting, but over the years now, the concept of sustainability, it's expanded, and Jani-King wants to be a leader in that. And and Steve, for me personally, one of my hobbies here in Canada is politics. I've been in politics, for 45 years. And one thing I see every day in our political world is that people are worried about sustainability. People are worried about the climate change. So now, I feel it's, top of mind awareness. And so personally being involved, I enjoy it myself as well.
I think a lot of people would certainly recognize that and agree with you. So we talked a little bit about working with small, medium-sized, organizations, franchisees. Um, from your experience, what are some of the thoughts you have um, to help these smaller business owners deal with sustainability?
So yes, Steve, I can relate to that question on this, as being a smaller size contractor. you know, People find the concepts we are discussing very complex and overwhelming. And because of that fear, people do not know how to participate in the process. It's become, very, very complex. And personally, like in my small business and the many small businesses I work with, we don't have the resources. We have very limited resources. And when I'm talking resources, I'm not just talking financial, I'm talking human resources, time management. Large companies, large operators have a complete department that's tackling these concepts. We as small operators, do not have that kind of resources. And, I find where I really see it the most is that many of the certification programs that, we're seeing come out now, they're actually built for the bigger companies, and they don't think of the small operator. So yes, I see very, very, very big challenges, for people who are trying to participate and compete at, head to head against these big operators.
So, what kind of steps would you encourage people, the smaller people you're talking about, to get started? It kind of sort of reminds me of that question about how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So,
Right.
what's your experience, and where would you suggest people start, working on the issue?
Well, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is that people in companies should not feel like they're by themselves or alone in this. You know, the fear and the feeling of being overwhelmed is felt by many. And so I'm comforted by that. And I guess what I'm saying is I feel we're in this together. One thing I've done is I've started to associate with other like-minded people. And by what I've done is I've joined a couple associations, and there's two. One is BOMA here in Canada. I've been very involved, and then the second is I've joined the ISSA and become more involved. And I find by joining an association, you don't feel like you're alone. And I feel like I'm around, like as I say, those like-minded people. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You personally, I don't have any problem taking good ideas from other people, right? And I like the fact that I can seek education on concepts and then share with others. So those are the things that I have used.
Well, thank you. And for those of you listening, Robert's been an active participant in ISSA Sustainability Program. So thank you for doing that. Thank you. So last question for you, pal. Any other final thoughts that you'd like to share with the group?
Generally, I can say that wasn't long ago that I was one of those people that felt intimidated and overwhelmed. Well, that's the truth. But by getting more involved, I actually feel less stressed, and I've learned a lot. And I've been able to implement good ideas, back into Jani-King and at home. And in general, sustainability is a good cause to get behind, like not just for the environment, but for the future, but also for my business. So, and I think there's nothing wrong with that.
So with that, thank you so much for your time. You're greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Steve.